Now, based on this, as I said, we are going to cover some basic concepts and conventions. But before directly going for concepts and conventions, I would like to concentrate more on somewhat the definition of accounting and some benefits of that. So I would like to explain first that. As we have already said that accounting is a language of business which communicates the economic information in order to enable the users to take the right decisions. Now, by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, how we define the concept of accounting, that accounting is an art of recording, classifying, summarizing in a significant manner and in terms of money, transactions and events which are in part at least financial character and interpreting the results thereof. Each and every word of this definition is very important and is full of some knowledge. Basically, it is the art. Art is what? It's a knack, it's a way, it's a method of recording some of the transactions entries. And as it is an art, it depends on each and every accountant's interpretation about how he looks at that particular transaction and how he records that transaction in his books of accounts. That is called as a art. So it varies from business to business. Recording changes from business to business. Methods changes from business to business. So basically it's a art. Art of what? Recording. That means you are writing, basically. Classifying. That means you are analyzing. And summarizing. So you are putting it in a compact way. In terms of money, so as I said, again, only financial transactions we are going to record and non-monetary transactions we are not going to record. And interpreting the results thereof. So whatever you have written, whatever you have summarized, whatever you have analyzed, classified, you have to interpret that. And from that, whatever conclusions you get, based on that, management is going to take the decisions. Now, very important part, as I say, all this, when you put before the management, we call it as what? We call it as financial statements. Next. Now, these financial statements supply information to whom? To managers who guide the company. It is the basic role of managers to manage the company. So, they have to guide the company. It is for the investors who are going to invest their amount in business. So, they should know how the business is doing, how the business is working. Analysts and brokers or firms who are dealing with company stock, the government also, which decides how much tax should be collected from the company. So these are the different parties which are related with the company and they should understand how the company is working, and for that these financial statements are very important for them. Now, what is next point? If every business organization conveys its information in its own way, as I said, it's a art, it's a knack. So, if each and every business accountant conveys the information in his own way, there will be babble of information. Lots of information will be given. From that, the most important information only actually should be communicated to all these people, and that too in a systematic way, systematic manner. So, what is important that the stakeholders need a uniform, standardized system of accounting by which companies can be compared on the basis of their performance and value. This is again one additional important point. I have invested amount in this particular company, but the similar type of another company, how it is working, even that I should understand. Because I have to take a decision whether I should shift the investment from this company to that company. And for taking that decision, I should know how that another company is also working. For that, what I'll have to do? I'll have to compare the books of accounts of both these companies. But if I am not following common concepts, common principles, common conventions, how the data will be comparable? So again and again, I am stressing the point that all the accountants should follow certain basic concepts, certain basic conventions, and based on that only they should maintain their books of accounts. Then only they will be comparable. Then only the outsiders can take decision. So this has resulted into the introduction of accounting principles. Next. Therefore, accounting principles based on certain concepts, conventions, traditions have been evolved by accounting authorities and regulators and are followed internationally. These principles, which serve as the rules for accounting of financial transactions and in preparation of financial statements, are known as basically generally accepted accounting principles. Now, these principles have taken two forms. One is what? Accounting concepts, and other is convention. Next. Now, basically, there are 8 concepts and there are 4 conventions. 8 concepts and there are next 4 conventions. There are 8 concepts and there are 4 conventions. So, we are going to cover all these concepts but just in one line. The basic thing only I'll explain. Next. Now, accounting concepts. The first concept, as I say, is business entity concept. Simple thing you have to remember, business and businessman are 2 separate persons. Whatever amount he invests in the business belongs later on to business and not to the businessman. So business is an independent person, and in the eyes of law, business has got separate existence. These two are separate persons. That we call it as the business entity concept. Then money measurement concept. Again, the transactions which are expressed in terms of money only, we are going to record in these books of accounts. Next. Then dual aspect concept. This is very important concept. Every transaction has got 2 aspects. One is always a giving aspect, another is a receiving aspect. So something is going out from the business, something is coming in the business. Something is going out and something is coming in the business. These are the 2 aspects of every transaction. And these 2 aspects should be very systematically recorded in the books of accounts. Simply we say we follow double entry system of bookkeeping. So what is this double entry? Every debit has got a corresponding credit of equal amount. So all our assets are always equal to our liabilities and capital. This concept is based on this dual aspect concept. Next, going concern concept. We always assume that our business will be a going concern. Continuously business will work forever. Though we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Anything may take place, anything may happen tomorrow, and business may be required to close down. But today, when I am entering into contract, I don't think of this. Today, when I am taking loan from the bank and a contract is for 10 years, I don't know tomorrow what will happen. My business may be liquidated also in 1 year. But still, I am taking a loan for 10 years. So what is my assumption? Business will continue forever. It will be a going concern. Next is historical cost concept. All assets are recorded at cost price. That is at the purchase price plus whatever extra expenses you have paid. And we never consider the present market value of that asset. So we call it as a historical cost concept. Next. Accounting year concept. Now, though I say that the business is a going concern, it will exist forever. But when I want to find out what is my profit or loss, I cannot wait till the company gets liquidated, all transactions are over, and then I will find out what is my profit or loss. It is impossible. So what I do, I divide the life of the business into small parts. That one small part is called as a financial year, and that financial year consists of 12 months. This 12 months period is called as an accounting period, and for that 12 months period, I find out whether profit is earned or loss is suffered. Next one is matching concept. Again, same point, I have to find out the profit or loss for a particular year. So naturally, what should I do? I should consider all the expenses, losses, incomes and gains of that financial year only. If I consider some of the items of last year, some of the items of next year, how I will get the correct profit of that year? So I have to match. What I have to match? I have to match the revenue with the expenses of those years. Then only I can get the correct profit or loss. And last, realization and accrual concept. Now, what is this realization and accrual concept? The revenue, what I get, on what basis should I record? The expenses, what I pay, on what basis should I record? So I always say that all the outstanding incomes, all the outstanding expenses, if they belong to the current year, I have to record them. Okay. Next. Then we have got 4 conventions. Basically, what is the difference between concepts and conventions? Concepts means what? These are the fundamentals. These are the truths on which the whole accounting base is based. Convention is what? Convention is by practice, by experience. Over the period of time, what I feel, if we do this, it is going to benefit the organization. That is convention. Conventionally, traditionally, by experience, we are going to do that. There are 4 conventions. First is what? Convention of conservatism. What is conservatism? Have a narrow-minded approach for income and a broad-minded approach for the expense. Means what? Suppose any expense I will have to pay or not. If this doubt is there, say you will have to pay it and make a provision for that. But if I have a doubt whether I will receive this income or not, say you will not receive and just ignore that. Later on, if I receive, it's well and good, my profit will increase. But later on, if I have to pay the expense for which I haven't provided, obviously my profit will reduce and nobody likes to reduce the profit. If it increases, it's well and good. Keep always conservatism approach. Based on that, closing stock cost or market value, whichever is lower, that is considered. Why we take a lower value? This is the principle. Next is convention of consistency. Consistency means what? Whatever accounting policies, once you have decided, you should not change it again and again. Consistently, you should follow the same accounting practices over the period of time. Does it mean that you cannot change the policies? No, you can change, but provided there is a reasonable ground, provided it is in the best interest of your organization, provided it is giving you fair and true value of your organization, definitely you can change the policy. That is principle of or convention of consistency. Next, convention of materiality and convention of full disclosure. I'll explain both these conventions simultaneously. Why simultaneously? Because both are related to each other. First is what? Materiality. What do you mean by materiality? Materiality means that type of important information which is essential from stakeholders' point of view, investors' point of view. When outsiders' decision is based on that information, they may react differently if this information changes. That is called as a material information. And this material information should be clearly disclosed in your books of accounts. You should not hide, you should not club that information with any other head. So, whatever information is a material information, that information should be disclosed very clearly in your books of accounts. So, that is what we say for the concepts of conventions and basic concepts and convention. Now, related to this, our next part will be accounting standards. Next part is accounting standards, its concepts and all important things relating to that. That we will be taking in the next session. Thank you.